So, there is a diplomatic friction going on between Ghana and the United States. What began as quiet negotiations over unpaid debt and visa concerns has now turned into a public war of words right on social media. At the center of this storm is Ghana's Foreign Minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. He is not just defending Ghana's economic policies. In fact, he is standing up for the country's sovereignty and dignity on the global stage. It all started when U.S. Senator Jim Risch posted this on his X, formerly Twitter. Instead of a trip to D.C., Ghana's foreign minister should focus on honoring his government's commitment to repay U.S. companies and the American taxpayers. We cannot keep subsidizing Ghana while it continues paying for larger debt to China. He was referring to Ghana's outstanding debt, specifically $330 million owed to U.S. companies and $132 million in bilateral trade backed by American taxpayers. But Ghana didn't stay silent. Foreign Minister Honorable Ablakwa fired back with a strong response. This is what he said. This is very rich coming from someone who refuses to advocate for reparation from the United States for its despicable role in the transatlantic slave trade. You will not be allowed to dictate to a sovereign country how it conducts its foreign policy. And it didn't stop there. If you need to be reminded, this is Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, the first African nation to defeat colonialism and imperialism. Let me be clear here. Those measly debts compared to what you owe us in reparation will be paid when deemed appropriate based on our economic recovery program. He ended by pointing out that this debt wasn't even created by the new Mahama administration, but unlike others, Ghana will still honor its obligations. So, how did we get here? Well, to understand the full picture, we need to go back to the beginning. You know, Ghana is recovering from one of the worst economic crises in recent history. After battling inflation, currency depreciation, and collapsing investor confidence, Ghana secured a $3 billion IMF bailout in 2023. Recently, it also approved a $2.8 billion debt restructuring deal to stabilize the economy, which we recently talked about. But not everyone is satisfied. In Washington, lawmakers like Senator Risch and Congressman Brian Mast are demanding immediate repayments from Ghana, especially to American firms that invested in power and energy sector in Ghana's economy. In fact, Congressman Mast went as far as to write to the U.S. Treasury, urging them to redirect the next IMF disbursement to pay off U.S. investors directly. While all of this was unfolding, Foreign Minister Ablakwa was already in the U.S. on a delicate mission. His goal was to prevent Ghana from being placed on a possible U.S. visa ban list, which we've already talked about. In fact, after our video, the U.S. Embassy tried to deny that, but Honorable Ablakwa came out to confirm it.
That report came to all of us as a surprise. I can confirm to you this evening that the government, led by the Honorable Foreign Minister, has engaged U.S. officials. We've had very productive meetings. Only this week we continued with the engagements. The U.S. authorities have now formally brought to our attention, so it is no longer a leaked report. They inform us that 10 days ago they were informed by the White House of the plans to take an expanded view of the President Trump bans. The ban, according to U.S. officials, will affect countries not complying with some 12 items, a criteria that they have outlined. Those 12 items, as they have formally communicated to us, they are varying. They cut across a wide array of matters of concern to U.S. authorities, including terrorism, countries that fund terrorism, state-sponsored terrorism. It includes countries that have become havens for violent extremists to operate. It's on their list. Then they are also talking about countries not cooperating with the ongoing deportations that the Trump administration is carrying out. Then there are issues to do with overstays. So countries that have a high rate of overstays, those who receive U.S. visas for specific periods and abuse the immigration laws of the United States, where they do not comply with the terms of their visa. So you have a 3-month visa, you are allowed to stay for 3 months or 6 months, pay your visa, but then you overstay. The U.S. officials have communicated to us that the challenge we face really relates to overstays, particularly with students, the students who we have been sending abroad. So students who go on government scholarship and also students who on their own apply to study in the United States of America. They have formally communicated to us that 21% is the default rate. 21% of students who have completed their courses have refused to return, according to U.S. data. They have told us that the allowance, they will permit countries doing below 15%. But if you are doing above 15%, then you will be flagged for further action.
And that is a serious blow because in the year 2023 alone, Ghana received 4.6 billion in remittances from the US, and over 9,000 Ghanaian students were enrolled in American universities. So a visa ban would affect ordinary Ghanaians, not just the government. Now let's go back to Accra. The new Mahama administration is also turning east, hosting the Ghana-China Business Summit and attracting fresh Chinese investments.
The relationship between Ghana and China officially started in 1960, which means it's been a very long time. But you can also tell that we still have the opportunity to build on the relationship that started long ago. Our records from the Ghana Investment Promotion Center indicates that we registered over 560 Chinese businesses expressing interest to do business in Ghana. However, as we speak now, we can boast of over 100 manufacturing entities owned by either Chinese state government or Chinese private sector investors. So what that tells us is that at least Ghana is not a bad place to do business after all, as the 100 that are in wouldn't have been here. What we intend doing, or what the president has in mind, is that we want to encourage as many Chinese manufacturers as possible to possibly consider having assembly plants or having new entities established in Ghana.
This makes Washington uneasy. While the US is demanding accountability, Ghana is expanding its options. It's a message from Accra that's loud and clear. We want partnership, but on our own terms. And Ghana's message to the world, especially to Washington, is this: we will meet our obligations, but we will not be bullied. We are a sovereign nation with a proud history of resisting foreign control, and we will choose our own path to recovery. In the face of mounting debt pressure, visa threats, and superpower rivalry, Ghana is standing its grounds calmly, diplomatically, but firmly. So, what do you think? Was Senator Risch out of line? Should Ghana repay US companies faster, or should Washington be more patient with a newly elected government? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more balanced, in-depth analysis like this. This is AS1 Report. My name is Sharif Haruna. Thank you very much for watching. Have a joyful life and see you in the next one. Macrao.